Let it be known that on this day that I, the Alpha J, have been officially pranked by a cartoon show. Now, I don't regularly watch Rocko's Modern Life. I am not really a 90s kid, I'm more of an early 2000s kid, but I watch anything that I feel is good. And before I go off on a huge tangent, let's just get into this. First of all, this mall looks awesome. Not sure how to feel about the parking lot. No, not the obvious circles, but the fact that it's implying that thousands of cars are parked around it. Wait until I learn about Amazon Prime. So first we get, oh my god, what's wrong with his eyes? That's it, we need to put it down.
No, Mama. There's no hope for him now, Travis. He's suffering.
This is Filbert. Wikipedia describes him as a neurotic turtle who often feels uncomfortable and disturbed. Well.
Whoops. Okay. Here, come again.
Indeed. So this is Heifer and Rocko from left to right. They order stuff sticks because, you know, stuff. From watching this at a new perspective, I didn't even think they were friends.
Is that a little, stuff on your shirt? Get it off! April Fool!
The animation is a bit slow, but from what I learned later, that's just really the style of the show. This episode would work a lot better if it was faster, even if it doesn't rely on slapstick comedy.
Shut up! Shut up, I say! I don't think you're so funny! Go on, get out of here! You're not so funny! You're not so funny!
The internet in a nutshell. So Heifer says that Melba Toast, a character we do not only not see in the cartoon but in a series as well, is checking out Rocko. Melba Toast is Rocko's crush for those who have not watched the show. Rocko goes into an embarrassed state.
Rocko's here!
Help, please! Help, shut up!
Where's Rocko? Woo-hoo-hoo! April Fool's, Rocko!
Then Rocko immediately gets Heifer back.
It's made of rubber, Hep! April Fools!
One thing I want to restate is that this cartoon episode can really benefit from having some quicker moments. They let these jokes sink in too much and the joke ends up not working as well as it could have because the punchline comes in after a long moment of silence.
You better take it easy on the practical jokes, Heifer. Someone might really get you back someday.
Remember this line for me. So they end up going to this comic place, which I assume to be Rocko's job. He gets a letter from whoever is behind the cashier desk, it doesn't really matter. And it says it's from Rocko's grandmother, she's coming over. He asks for time to pick her up from the airport and the boss, I'm guessing, just laughs him off. So after asking everyone he can to see if anyone can pick up his grandmother from the airport, he ultimately has to ask Heifer, the person who has been pranking him as well as the person he was pranking the entire time. Now what I like about this episode is that it doesn't necessarily go through with doing any heinous prank. Unlike SpongeBob and Fairy Odd Parents, no one is necessarily hurt here. In fact, this episode takes the slow progression from the April Fool's Fairy Odd Parents episode with the elaborate all-time prank of the Fools in April episode from SpongeBob. So we reach the airport and that's where we see this show really hates straight lines. We also hear the ear-melting voice that is Rocko's grandmother. After seeing that Bob's Burgers episode where Bob stays in the wall to avoid talking to his mother-in-law, I gotta say, the annoying grandmother trope is really played out in my opinion. God, she's so annoying. The bulk of this episode is spent making her seem as irritating as possible.
Yes, Granny Rocko! Yes, Granny Rocko! Yes, Granny Rocko!
When I watched this, I was already formulating the rant I was gonna give on this episode, because she never stops talking. So Heifer plans an elaborate prank and tries to lure Granny Rocko into the living room, however...
Yes, Granny Rocko! Gee, I really would like you to come out here for a second.
I'll help you, Hev. You need help?
Heifer, did you lose weight? How come you wear Rocko's shirt? What happened to the suspenders? Where's Rocko? I'm ready for Rocko and I ain't taking no good. I'll tell you.
I don't understand this scene. Heifer goes completely nuts and sacrifices himself to the prank. And with the music, I think he would be praying to God or gods or something. It's so weird, but I just chalked that up to 90s weirdness. So Heifer goes through with the prank of a lifetime. It's actually very similar to the SpongeBob prank. Did I mention the team of Rocko's Modern Life for the most part regrouped to work on SpongeBob SquarePants later on? I'm not sure if Heifer's intentions were to kill Granny Rocko because remember, he did this prank with the intention of pranking Rocko, not silencing Granny. So I really can't say that this was going to be a planned hit. What a twist! That's when you use slow motion, by the way. So Filbert goes crazy and rots on the ground dying. No, not really, but the episode kinda ends that way. Unfortunately, Rocko's Modern Life didn't adjust well, but it has its values that his contemporaries still can't touch, which is much better than fitting in. It has its own style, and it could have benefited from faster animation, more detailed art. However, as YouTube can state, even without the best equipment, people will still come to you if you have a good story. Also, before I forget to mention, this episode had a joke in it that was really similar to the entire premise of Waffles, and it worked here where it didn't work there because they spent the entire time planning out the joke, but here it works amazing because it was just a one-time thing. That's how you do it. I already did 4 reviews on Teen Titans Go. I'm not doing another. I said it's going to be positive, April, so I'm just going to not talk about it. You, backspace everything you have in the comment section. We are not talking about it. We're not talking about it. We are not talking about it. And as always, I hope your time was well spent. Alpha.